Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right, we're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
The story you're about to enjoy was inspired by Maddie. Thank you for your amazing idea. It all began with a yes day. A fun day that was supposed to allow Levi and Ivy the opportunity to get or do anything they wanted. And all they had to do was ask their parents, who were unable to say no for an entire day. I can't believe it's finally here, exclaimed Levi when he jumped out of bed that Saturday morning. Ivy, get up! But Ivy had been up for 10 minutes already and popped into Levi's room as soon as she heard his voice. Are you ready for the best day ever? Called out Ivy as she ran in and jumped on Levi's bed. I'll get the list we made and then we can head downstairs to start our yes day, said Levi as he jumped out of bed. But how did this yes day come to be? You may be wondering. Well, it all happened when Levi and Ivy challenged their parents to a relay race obstacle course the weekend before. They set up the course in the backyard and asked if their parents wanted to try it out with them. Levi and Ivy loved playing outside more than anything and often spent all weekend in their treehouse, exploring their neighborhood with friends or running around the park and down the street. So it was no surprise that they wanted to share some fun outdoor time with their parents. Their mom and dad loved that their kids enjoyed playing outside. And unlike a lot of their friends, they didn't focus a large amount of their time on screens. Yes, they had their favorite TV shows, they liked video games, and their tablets were fun to play with on long car rides, but they didn't use them all the time. If they had the choice, they would almost always choose playing outdoors over watching a screen. Mom and Dad, are you all set for this relay race obstacle course? It's pretty tough, giggled Levi looking at Ivy. Yep, but not for Levi and I. We do these kinds of races all the time, said Ivy with a big smile. Well, get ready to be super surprised, said Levi and Ivy's mom. Your dad and I were obstacle course relay race champs when we were your age. I was kind of a legend in my neighborhood, said Levi and Ivy's dad as he stretched over by the starting line. I was undefeated for years until I twisted my ankle jumping over a mud puddle into the center of a hula hoop in the 1995 championship race at my friend Samantha's house. That was a sad day. Levi and Ivy tried their best to hold back their laughter as they listened to their parents remembering when they were kids. I'm sorry to bring up this very important fact, but you two are a lot older now. And the other day, Dad hurt his back when he sneezed, giggled Levi. And Mom can't get up from the couch without saying, ouch, my knees, laughed Ivy. If I had to make a guess, I'd say Levi and I are going to win this with no problem at all. Oh, you think so? Said Ivy's mom, standing up from the picnic table. Oh, my knees. See what I mean? Said Ivy as she high-fived Levi. We've got this. Levi and Ivy's parents knew their kids had a point, but they really wanted to prove to them that just because they were older didn't mean they couldn't win the relay race. Levi and Ivy's dad whispered something to their mom, and she smiled and nodded her head in agreement. Levi, Ivy, your mom and I have something to add to the relay race obstacle course competition that we think will make this a little more interesting, began Levi and Ivy's dad. The team that wins this race will get... He paused for dramatic effect, which intrigued Levi and Ivy. They leaned in close to hear what the prize could possibly be. The team that wins this race will get... Levi and Ivy's dad said once more. A yes day! Exclaimed Levi and Ivy's mom as she threw her hands in the air. Levi and Ivy couldn't believe what they were hearing. They had been asking for a yes day from their parents for as long as they could remember. But when they asked, they were always told it wasn't a good time and that they would do it one day soon. And it looked like that day had finally arrived. A yes day? Exclaimed Levi. That's awesome! With a yes day up for grabs, there's no way we're gonna lose, said Ivy. That may not have been your best idea. Levi and Ivy's parents saw how serious their kids looked after they mentioned the Yes Day prize. Their eyes sparkled with a glimmer of pure competition. They were focused on winning and nothing else. "Oh no," said Levi and Ivy's dad to their mom. "This may have been a bad idea." "Don't worry," said Levi and Ivy's mom. "We have way more years of racing under our belts and we're still pretty young. Right?" Yes, said Levi and Ivy's dad, not sounding very convincing. "But just think about if we win," said Levi and Ivy's mom. "The kids will have to do whatever we say for a whole day." "Oh, you're right. Let's win this thing," said Levi and Ivy's dad as he high-fived their mom. Levi and Ivy were ready to start and offered their parents the chance to choose when they went. They thought about it and decided to go first and run their race on a fresh course. So once Levi and Ivy's dad was set up on the starting line and their mom was set up midway through the course to finish the last leg of the race, Levi and Ivy took their position on the porch and got ready to start them off. "The winner of this obstacle course relay race will be determined by the fastest time per team," said Levi as he held up his dad's bright yellow stopwatch. "The race will begin when I say go," added Ivy. "Are you ready?" Levi and Ivy's parents nodded their heads and gave a thumbs up. "Okay, good luck. On your mark, get set, go!" exclaimed Ivy as Levi pressed the start button on the stopwatch. Levi and Ivy's dad took off from the starting line like a bolt of lightning. Levi and Ivy were really impressed and a little worried. But since this isn't your normal relay race, their dad couldn't just rely on being fast. He also had to tackle some pretty tough obstacles. And much to his kids' surprise, Levi and Ivy's dad was doing a really good job leaping over, dodging, and running through the obstacles they had set up. That is until he let his success get the better of him. Levi and Ivy's dad was feeling very confident, and he headed towards the puddle jump and looked over at Levi and Ivy to show them how proud he was of himself. But by doing that, he misstepped, slipped on the mushy grass at the edge of the puddle, and fell in with a splash. He quickly hopped up and tagged Levi and Ivy's mom to start her leg of the race, but not before wasting some very valuable seconds lying in a cold puddle. Levi and Ivy's mom started off quickly as well and hopped over, skipped through, and made it past all the obstacles that were in their way. That is until she reached the treehouse ladder climb. She got halfway up before letting out the all-too-familiar cry, "Oh, my knees!" She slowly made her way back down the ladder and finished up the race by limping across the finish line. Levi and Ivy called time and ran over to check on their parents. And I think you can guess what happened next. Yep, that's right. Levi and Ivy got set up to run their race and beat their parents' time by 20 seconds. It wasn't even close. "Oh no," whispered Levi and Ivy's dad to their mom. "We have to do a yes day now." "What are the chances they forgot that we offered a yes day to the winner?" asked Levi and Ivy's mom. "Not very good," answered Levi and Ivy's dad as they both looked over at their kids who were jumping around and cheering, "Yes day, yes day, yes day." Since they did make a promise, Levi and Ivy's parents told them that their yes day could be the following Saturday. And that is where we started our story. As soon as Levi and Ivy's parents were up that Saturday morning, they heard their kids preparing for their yes day. They had watched all week long as Levi and Ivy added to their yes day list and got more and more excited as their big day got closer. "Mom and Dad, it's time!" called out Levi and Ivy, who knew their yes day started at 8 a.m. that morning and went until about 8 p.m. that night. Levi and Ivy's parents took a deep breath as they got out of bed and prepared themselves for the day. "It'll be over in no time," they kept repeating to themselves. "And how bad could it possibly be? I'm sure they'll ask to go to the park all morning, eat some junk food, maybe go to the zoo, and then sleep out in the treehouse," said Levi and Ivy's mom. "For one day, we can handle doing whatever they want to do," said their dad confidently. Then they walked downstairs to the kitchen ready for whatever Levi and Ivy had planned, but they couldn't have imagined what an important lesson one yes day could teach their kids. Once everyone arrived in the kitchen that morning, Levi and Ivy didn't waste a minute getting started with their list of requests. "We'd like to start out with chocolate chip pancakes, hot chocolate, and chocolate ice cream," said Ivy with a big smile. "We'd also like to eat that amazing breakfast in the living room while we watch one of our favorite TV shows," added Levi. Levi and Ivy's parents had counted on junk food being a part of the yes day, but they were a little surprised that their kids wanted to watch TV so early in the morning. They never watched TV during breakfast, or any of the meals for that matter, unless they were having a special movie night. But it was a yes day, so they knew there would be lots of things that were out of the ordinary going on that day. Yes, answered Levi and Ivy's mom as she started to get the ingredients out to make pancakes. Awesome! We're going to be waiting in the living room, said Levi, jumping around with Ivy. Strange that they want a TV show so early, said Levi and Ivy's dad. I thought they'd maybe want to eat their junk food outside, maybe a morning picnic, but it's their day. I'm sure the rest of the day will be outside running around with them. Breakfast was served as Levi and Ivy laughed along with their favorite TV show. They loved their first yes day meal and ate every last bit. Their parents gave them time to eat and waited until their show was over before they went back to the living room to clean up. Then they eagerly awaited to find out where the rest of the day would take them. So, what's next? Maybe the park for some kite flying or hike on a trail with the waterfall at the end of it? Asked their dad. And if you ask, I guess we'd have to let you swim under the waterfall in that cool little lagoon too, added Levi and Ivy's mom. That sounds cool, but we were thinking you could buy us the latest version of our favorite video game, and we could play that for a bit, said Ivy. Yes, I guess so, said Levi and Ivy's dad. Great, and while we're waiting for you to run to the store and get that, we're going to play on our tablets, said Levi. Thanks, Dad. Yeah, thanks, said Ivy as she followed Levi to grab their tablets and then head into the playroom. Morning TV, video games, and tablets? Asked Levi and Ivy's mom. Not what I was expecting. We still have a lot of the day left to get through, said Levi and Ivy's dad reassuringly before he ran out to the store to buy their new video game. Once he got back, Levi and Ivy cheered and grabbed the games from their dad. They popped it into the gaming system and proceeded to spend hours playing as lunchtime got closer and closer. I'm thinking they'll definitely want to head outside now, right? Asked Levi's dad. I would hope so, answered their mom. As the day goes on, I'm noticing that I was kind of excited for their yes day too. I thought they would have us outside doing a bunch of things they always ask to do, but we just don't ever have time for. I know, I was kind of feeling that way too, said Levi and Ivy's dad. Let's see what they want to do for lunch. Maybe a picnic on the beach, and we could get that amazing frozen yogurt they love. Unlimited toppings. But when Levi and Ivy's parents asked what they wanted to do for lunch, this is what they heard. We'd like to try that new fast food place that just opened up, the one that serves giant cheeseburgers and mega-sized fries, said Levi. And while you go and get it, we'll keep playing our video games. Or I guess we could come with you too, said Ivy. My neck is starting to hurt a bit from staring at the TV. Good idea. We've still got a long yes day ahead of us, said Levi. Great. I'm glad to hear you want to get out of the house, said Levi and Ivy's mom. Since we'll be out, maybe we can have a picnic. Nope. We'd still like to bring the food back here and eat while we play our video games a bit more, answered Levi. What do you say? Yes, said Levi's dad, not sounding very happy about it. As their kids ran upstairs to change, Levi and Ivy's parents waited for them, hoping they would want to do a yes day activity that wasn't on a screen. At least while they were driving to the new fast food place, they couldn't be on a screen, thought their parents. That was until Levi and Ivy asked to use their mom's phone to watch a video. What do you say, Mom? Asked Ivy, holding out her hand from the back seat. Yes, said Ivy's mom in a low voice, sounding a bit disappointed at the request. Once at the fast food place, the kids ordered their food and they all headed back to the house. Levi and Ivy thanked their parents and ran back to their video game where they played and ate burgers and fries for another hour. Levi and Ivy's parents waited in the kitchen for the next request from their kids, just hoping that it wouldn't be something that had to do with a screen. And what they first heard made them really happy, but it quickly went downhill. Mom, Dad, called out Levi and Ivy as they walked into the kitchen. We'd love some ice cream right now, extra sprinkles, extra whipped topping, and extra hot fudge, said Levi. And we'd like to talk with you about tonight, said Ivy. We'd love to eat dinner outside and sleep in our treehouse. Yes, 100% yes, exclaimed Levi and Ivy's mom. I'm sorry for all the excitement. I just think that's a really great choice. Oh, it is, but we haven't gotten to the best part yet, said Ivy. We're going to eat outside and watch a movie, said Levi. Dad can hook up his projector to his laptop and we can download something. And then we'll need to borrow his laptop again because we're going to take that up into the treehouse with us so we can watch shows and play video games all night long, said Ivy. Levi and Ivy's parents didn't know what to say at that point. All they could think was, more screens? Aren't they tired of watching TV and playing video games yet? Then as they were putting together Levi and Ivy's ice cream sundaes, they had a thought. Hey, Levi and Ivy, your yes day ends at 8 p.m., right? Asked their dad. That means we don't have to say yes to you watching TV all night long in your treehouse. Good one, whispered Levi and Ivy's mom. Actually, Dad, everyone knows that as long as you ask for your request before your yes day is officially over, your parents have to say yes, said Levi. Of course, we know the request can't extend into the next day, so we'll be sure to stop watching TV at midnight, said Ivy with a smile. Midnight? Shouted Levi and Ivy's mom. But that would mean you've been pretty much watching screens all day. Yes, all of a yes day, to be specific, Levi said, correcting his mom. So it's totally fine. The yes day was your idea after all, said Ivy. So, do we have a yes? Yes, said Levi and Ivy's parents, but they didn't sound happy about it at all. However, they couldn't argue with Ivy. She was right. They were the ones that suggested the yes day. They just thought it was going to go a lot differently. They continued making the ice cream sundaes as Levi and Ivy sat in the kitchen talking about which movie they'd watch while eating dinner. Once they got their ice cream sundaes, Levi and Ivy ran into the living room and turned the TV back on. They didn't even say thank you to their parents. The hours went by and not once did Levi and Ivy ask to do one outside activity, not going to the park or the zoo or even the beach. Dinner time came and they requested pizza and milkshakes and plopped down in the yard to watch the movie they had picked out. They laughed and ate pizza, but seemed to be in their own worlds. At this point, they had been on screens for so long, it seemed to be all they were looking at. Even when Levi and Ivy talked to each other, they never took their eyes off the screen. As the night went on, Levi and Ivy started to talk less and less. They hadn't spoken to their parents for much of the day, and now they were so focused on the movie that they even stopped talking to each other. Once the movie was over and the pizza was gone, they climbed the ladder to their treehouse. Their dad followed behind with his laptop and an extra long extension cord. He set up the laptop and plugged it into an outdoor outlet next to the back door that led into the house. Levi and Ivy's mom popped into the treehouse with blankets, pillows, and sleeping bags and set up a nice area for her kids to sleep in that night. We'll be right inside if you need us, said Levi's mom. And maybe if you want to, you can look at the stars or draw or play a board game or just talk to each other. However, Levi and Ivy didn't seem to be listening as they started to play a video game on their dad's laptop. Hey, before you start on that game, we could play a game of backyard flashlight tag, suggested Levi and Ivy's dad when he went up to say goodnight. He really hoped his kids would want to take a break from the screens, at least for a little bit. We can't, Dad. It's already started, said Levi. Okay, we're going in. Good night, said Levi and Ivy's dad, but no one answered him. We said good night, repeated Levi and Ivy's mom. Oh, yeah, night, said Levi and Ivy, never looking up from their game. Their parents climbed down the ladder and stood in the backyard for a bit as the sounds of video games were the only thing they could hear. Hey, friends, that is the end of Too Much Technology Part 1. Come back soon for Part 2. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun Lively Lewis story with you.